How to train your ladies and gentlemen. Before success ever shows up in your life, it must first take root in your mind to attract unlimited wealth. Mind, think it, believe it, act on it, and watch the world bend to your vision. Wealth is not something you stumble upon by accident, nor is it a privilege granted to a chosen few. Wealth is a result, an outcome that begins in the most powerful force you possess, your mind. Long before you touch money, long before you build an empire or sign your name on success, you must first construct the mindset that welcomes wealth. Napoleon Hill dedicated his life to uncovering this truth, interviewing the greatest minds of his time, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, and what he found was astonishing. Every one of them began with an idea, a belief, a clear mental picture of the life they intended to create, and they all had this in common, an unshakable conviction that the mind, when properly directed, becomes a magnet for success, opportunity, and abundance. Training your mind to attract wealth begins with desire, but not an ordinary want, not a passive hope. It begins with a burning desire so intense that it becomes an obsession, a vision that dominates your thoughts, guides your actions, and consumes your energy. This is not some wish you casually write down once a year. This is the kind of desire that wakes you up in the middle of the night, the kind that lights a fire in your chest and doesn't go out, even when everything around you says quit. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Desire is the starting point of all achievement. Without it you will drift, you will hesitate, you will fold under pressure, but with it you become unstoppable." Desire is the engine that drives your entire journey, and once that desire is firmly planted in your heart, the next step is to train your mind to believe that it is not only possible, it is inevitable. That's where faith comes in. Not the kind of faith you speak out loud but don't feel inside. Not empty affirmations. Real faith, the kind that gets under your skin, anchors your steps, and makes you act as though success is already yours. Because in the mental world, belief is everything. Your subconscious mind is constantly listening, constantly absorbing, and it will act upon whatever it is consistently told. If you keep feeding it with thoughts of doubt, lack, or fear, it will work against you. But if you saturate it with belief, with confidence, with absolute certainty that you are becoming wealthy, that you are deserving of wealth, that you are aligned with purpose and power, then the mind responds. It begins to filter your reality differently. Suddenly, where you once saw problems, you see possibilities. Where you once saw limitation, you see leverage. And that shift is where the magic begins. Still, faith without action is useless. Hill stressed the need for a definite plan because dreams without strategy are just fantasies. The wealthy do not wait for things to happen. They design, they decide, and they act. Even if the plan isn't perfect, even if the road ahead is unclear, they start. Movement creates momentum, and momentum opens doors. What you'll notice is that once you begin, the universe seems to respond. People appear, resources arrive, ideas strike, but none of it happens for the one who stands still. You train your mind to attract wealth not by dreaming big alone, but by acting boldly. Every action you take reinforces belief. Every result, whether it's a win or a lesson, feeds your subconscious with evidence that you are on the right path. You're not waiting for success anymore. You are walking toward it with intent, and you will be tested. The road to wealth is not free of obstacles. There will be setbacks, losses, and moments where everything seems to stand still. This is where most give up. But those who become truly wealthy develop persistence, the habit of never quitting. Hill said there is no substitute for persistence. When everything in you wants to stop, you go on. When failure mocks you, when critics doubt you, when the process stretches you, this is when you train your mind to dig deeper. You condition it to find strength in struggle. You turn adversity into advantage. Each time you persist, your mental muscle strengthens, your emotional intelligence sharpens, and your hunger deepens. You become the kind of person wealth trusts, because wealth is drawn to those who cannot be broken. But even beyond persistence, there is another key to training the mind for unlimited wealth, and that is alignment. You must align your environment, your circle, your inputs to match the life you want. If you surround yourself with people who complain, who fear growth, who reject abundance, you'll absorb that energy. Your subconscious will mirror it. But if you place yourself in a space where people think big, act boldly, and celebrate success, you'll rise with them. This is the power of the mastermind. Being in the company of like-minded individuals isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's fuel for your journey, and it sharpens your awareness of what's possible. But remember this, wealth is not only about money, it's about becoming rich in character, vision, discipline, and impact. True wealth is when your finances grow in proportion to your growth as a human being, when the life you build outside reflects the values you hold inside. This is why mindset matters, because the most dangerous poverty is not financial, it is mental. If you don't believe you deserve to be wealthy, you will reject the very things that could change your life. But once you shift your identity, once you see yourself not as a victim of circumstances but as a creator of destiny, everything changes. You stop asking for permission, you stop making excuses, you stop living small. Instead you rise, you write new beliefs, you claim your vision, you show up with intensity, with clarity, with hunger, And day by day, thought by thought, action by action, you become magnetic. Opportunities that once passed you by now land in your hands. Resources begin to appear. Your energy changes. Your confidence grows. You become a force, and not just for your own gain, but for the impact you're here to make. Wealth is not a finish line. It's a journey of alignment. It's the art of matching your internal world with your external reality. Train your mind to operate at a higher level, where faith is louder than fear, where action is faster than excuses, and where vision is bigger than any obstacle. Because the truth is simple but powerful. Wealth does not begin with money. It begins with mindset. And the day you take full control of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your habits, that's the day you stop chasing wealth, and wealth starts chasing you. Everything in your outer world is born first in your inner world. The buildings that rise, the fortunes that grow, the companies that change history, none of them began with money. They began with imagination, with a thought, with belief. And that's where most people misunderstand wealth. They think it's something outside of them, something they must chase, earn, or luck into. But wealth is not outside, it's within. You are not broken because of your bank account. You are broken because of your belief system. That's the raw truth most people never want to face. Until your mindset shifts, your reality never will. And once it does, your entire life begins to change in ways you once thought impossible. Napoleon Hill discovered this after years of studying the most successful people of his time. He realized that while their businesses, backgrounds, and strategies were different, they all had one thing in common: the way they thought. Their mindset was their foundation. They believed in their right to be wealthy, their ability to succeed, and their worthiness to live abundantly. That belief wasn't arrogance, it was clarity. And when your thoughts are aligned with clarity, the world starts to align with you. You begin to see opportunities you used to miss. You begin to take risks you once feared. And most of all, you stop playing small in a world that's trying to keep you average. But the transformation doesn't happen by chance. You have to train your mind, feed it, protect it. You must guard it like treasure, because it is. Every day the world throws thoughts at you: doubt, fear, distraction, comparison. If you're not aware, you absorb them. They settle into your subconscious and begin to quietly build a mental prison around your potential. That's why training your mind isn't optional. It's vital. You must deliberately replace those thoughts with ones that serve your vision. You must read things that elevate you. Listen to people who challenge you. Speak to yourself like someone who is destined for more. This doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you reshape it. You tell yourself a better story. You write a new script. You stop saying "I can't afford this" and start asking, "How can I afford this?" You stop saying "I'm not lucky" and start saying "I'm in control." Because the truth is, you're not a victim of your life. You are the author of it. And every sentence begins in your mind. Every result, good or bad, started with a thought you allowed to take root. And so if you want to attract wealth, you must first become wealthy in thought, rich in gratitude, rich in confidence, rich in vision. You must see yourself as someone worthy of success, not someday but now. Because until you believe that, nothing else will stick. The strategies won't matter. The opportunities won't land. The money will come and go. But when your mind is strong, when your inner world is calibrated for growth and greatness, then wealth becomes a natural byproduct. It's not something you hustle for, it's something that flows to you because of who you are becoming. So as we carry this conversation forward, let's remember, wealth doesn't begin in your wallet, it begins in your thoughts, your self-talk, and your belief system. And if you can rewire your mind to think like someone who is already wealthy, everything else, money, influence, freedom, will begin to follow. And as we carry this truth forward, that wealth begins with thought, it becomes clear that not just any thought will do. Casual interest is not enough. A passive wish, a momentary motivation, that won't get you there. What you truly need, what every self-made individual has harnessed, is a desire so strong that it becomes a living force inside of you. It's not about just wanting more, it's about needing it with such intensity that the thought never leaves your mind. Napoleon Hill called
Delays don't derail you, they develop you. And failure becomes feedback, not defeat. Faith works like a mental magnet. When you believe in your vision, you start attracting ideas, people, and opportunities aligned with that belief. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you believe. That's why affirmations alone are not enough. Saying "I am wealthy" is just words if your mind still clings to scarcity. You must believe it so deeply that your energy, your posture, your thoughts, and your actions all speak that truth without hesitation. That level of inner certainty becomes contagious. Others feel it. Doors open, momentum builds, and slowly but surely your outer world begins to rise up to match the intensity of your inner world. But here's what most people don't tell you. Faith must be trained. Just like a muscle, it must be exercised. It's not a one-time decision, it's a daily discipline. You have to guard it, feed it, speak life over it. You must monitor your environment carefully. What are you listening to? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you feeding your faith or your fear? Because both grow, but only one will lead you where you want to go. Faith also means walking forward even when you don't have the full plan. It's taking the first step when the path ahead is still dark. It's trusting that your dream is valid, even when no one validates it for you. That's why so many people quit. They wait for certainty from the world before they move, not realizing that certainty begins within. The most successful people in history didn't wait for approval. They moved based on internal conviction, not external validation. That's what faith looks like. That's the invisible force that separates the dreamers from the doers. And when faith is tested, and it will be, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means your next level is being prepared. Think about every breakthrough you've ever had. Was it preceded by ease or by struggle? Growth is always preceded by resistance, and that resistance is not trying to destroy your faith, it's trying to strengthen it. You don't build belief in silence, you build belief in storms. So when it feels like everything is pushing against you, push back harder with faith. Say to yourself, this is happening for me, not to me. Hold your vision tighter, speak your affirmations louder, show up stronger, because if you refuse to let go, life will eventually have to make room for what you've already made real in your mind. So yes, desire matters, thought matters, but without faith it all falls apart. Faith is the bridge between your current reality and your desired reality. It is the unseen thread connecting your present to your future. And as we keep moving forward in this journey together, never forget, when you build unshakable belief, you create unshakable results. That's the power of faith. It doesn't just believe in your dream, it demands that the world catch up to it. Now that we've spoken about the incredible importance of thoughts, desire, and unshakable faith, there's one more truth that often decides who wins and who gives up halfway, and that truth is persistence. Because no matter how powerful your vision is, no matter how deeply you desire it, and no matter how fiercely you believe in it, none of it will manifest unless you are willing to show up again and again, even when results don't appear, even when progress is invisible. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not connections, it's persistence. The raw, stubborn refusal to quit. And persistence, let's be real, isn't glamorous. It's not about social media highlights or perfect morning routines. Persistence is about what you do after you've been knocked down, after the plan fell apart, after you failed, got laughed at, got ignored, when everyone else stopped watching. Persistence is what keeps you moving. It is not a feeling, it is a decision to keep showing up. A decision to believe again. A decision to try one more time and then one more after that, until the wall finally breaks and the door finally opens. Napoleon Hill didn't just write about success from theory, he studied the lives of men who failed more times than they succeeded. Edison tried over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Henry Ford went broke multiple times. Colonel Sanders heard no over 1,000 times before someone said yes to his chicken recipe. What made them extraordinary wasn't their ideas, it was their persistence, their refusal to surrender to failure. That's the difference most people never talk about, because it's not exciting, it's not fast, but it's everything. You must understand, failure is not your enemy, quitting is. Obstacles are not your end, stopping is. If you simply refuse to stop, you can survive anything. You don't need to win today, you don't need to impress anyone, you just need to not quit. If you can persist through doubt, through delay, through discomfort, you will eventually reach a place that most people never find, results. But let's be honest, persistence is hard in a world that celebrates speed. You want things now, success in 30 days, millions in 3 months. But the truth is, everything meaningful in life takes time. Roots must grow before fruit appears, muscles must tear before they grow, and your vision must be tested before it is trusted. That's why persistence is so rare, because it requires patience. It demands trust in a process you can't always see, and it requires you to keep working even when no one is clapping, when the finish line feels invisible, and when the voices around you say, "Why are you still trying?" But when you're persistent, something changes inside you. You stop relying on circumstances, and you start relying on character. You stop being controlled by motivation, and you become driven by mission. Every setback becomes training. Every detour becomes education. Every delay becomes refinement. You stop chasing quick wins and start building permanent foundations, because real success, lasting success, is never built in bursts. It's built in discipline, in repetition, in quiet daily effort. That's the difference persistence makes. It transforms dreams from wishful thinking into reality through consistent, sometimes invisible work. And what's most beautiful, persistence reshapes you. You don't just get stronger results, you become a stronger person. You develop emotional muscle, mental toughness, you earn self-respect. And that self-respect is worth more than anything the world can give you. It tells you, I don't need perfect conditions. I don't need overnight success. I'm still here. I'm still building. I'm not done. So as we carry this conversation forward, hold on to this. Talent may get you started, but only persistence gets you there. The ones who rise aren't always the smartest, fastest, or most talented. They're the ones who just never stopped. They fell and got back up. They failed and tried again. They got rejected and still showed up the next day with fire in their eyes. Be that person. Be relentless. Because in the end, it's not the dream that creates the result. It's the persistence behind it. As our discussion continues, one truth begins to glow brighter. Persistence builds the foundation, but visualization is what gives it direction. Without a vision, persistence can turn into motion without progress, a hustle without heart. That's why the great minds of history, including Napoleon Hill, placed immense importance on visualization, because the mind cannot create what it cannot first see. Your imagination is not a toy, it is a tool, a divine instrument that allows you to design the life you want before it exists. Every great building, every invention, every empire that ever rose in this world started as a picture in someone's mind. The clearer the picture, the more certain the result.
When you visualize your success, truly see it, feel it, believe it, you're sending a powerful command to your subconscious mind. You're not just daydreaming, you're programming. You're laying the blueprint for your actions, decisions, and even emotions to follow. Think about it. An architect doesn't pour concrete until the blueprint is drawn. A captain doesn't sail until the destination is mapped. And a successful person doesn't act blindly. They act in alignment with a vision they've already visited in their mind 1,000 times. But this kind of visualization is not casual. It's not something you do once and forget. It's a discipline. It's a ritual. You close your eyes each day and see where you want to be. You imagine the life you're building, the freedom, the joy, the success, the impact. You hear the applause of goals achieved. You smell the air of the environment you want to live in. You feel the weight of your dreams as if they've already landed in your hands. This is not fantasy. This is focus. The mind doesn't know the difference between imagined reality and physical reality, so when you flood your mind daily with images of your future, you make it your new normal. And then something incredible begins to happen. Your behavior starts shifting to match the picture in your mind. Your choices get sharper. Your energy aligns. Your fears shrink because you've already been there in your thoughts. You begin living as if it's already yours. That's how powerful visualization is. It makes you act today like the person you want to become tomorrow. And when you start acting like that person consistently, life eventually has no choice but to deliver what you've been preparing for. But let's be clear, visualization alone is not magic. It must be combined with action, with persistence, with belief. You don't just sit and imagine, you imagine, then move. You see it, then build it. That's where many people go wrong. They think visualization replaces hard work. It doesn't. It energizes it. It fuels it. It gives it purpose. Your vision is the lighthouse in your storm, the compass in your confusion. It keeps you centered when everything around you seems lost. When you feel discouraged, you return to that inner picture. When people doubt you, you revisit the movie in your mind. And each time you do, you anchor yourself deeper in your destiny. And the beautiful part? You can refine your vision as you grow. It evolves with you. As you achieve one part, you build another. You're never done visualizing because you're never done growing. That's how successful people keep leveling up. Not by luck, not by magic, but by keeping their mental blueprints alive and active. Every breakthrough begins with belief, and every belief is solidified through visualization. That's how goals stop being wishes and become inevitabilities. So, as we continue on this journey together, remember this: your vision is not optional, it's essential. Don't wait for the world to show you what's possible. Close your eyes and show it to yourself first. Make that image so real in your mind that reality begins to shift to match it. See it, feel it, believe it, and then become it. Because the truth is, success doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. And you, through visualization, are the designer of your destiny. As we continue to journey through the layers of creating success through the power of the mind, we arrive at a point that cannot be skipped, denied, or softened. Action. All the belief in the world, all the burning desire, the unwavering faith, the relentless persistence, and the vivid visualization mean nothing if you don't act. Without action, your dreams remain just that, dreams. They stay locked in your imagination, vivid but powerless, real to only you. But when you take action, you invite those dreams to step into the world. You begin the process of shaping thought into tangible result. Action is the bridge between the mental and the physical. It's where the invisible becomes visible. And yet this is the part where most people stop. Why? Because action demands energy. It demands risk. It demands courage. Thinking is safe. Planning is comforting. But acting, that's vulnerable. That's where fear shows up. That's where self-doubt whispers louder. But that's also where growth begins. That's where life starts to respond. That's where your inner world begins to manifest in the outer world. And let's be honest, most people are waiting for the perfect moment to act. They want the timing to be right, the money to be ready, the fear to go away. But success doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect conditions. It comes to those who move anyway, who act in the face of fear, who make the call, write the page, start the business, apply for the opportunity, even when their hands are shaking and their heart is pounding, because they understand something powerful. You don't get confidence from thinking, you get it from doing. And here's the truth that most never hear. Your first action won't be perfect. It won't be flawless. It may even be messy, awkward, or flat out wrong. But it will be movement. It will be progress. And progress is the lifeblood of success. You can't steer a parked car. You have to be in motion. When you start, even small, even scared, the universe begins to shift around you. You meet people you never would have met. You uncover ideas you didn't know you had. You attract energy that was waiting for your signal. Because action is a signal. A bold message that says, I'm serious about this. I'm not just dreaming anymore. I'm building now. And here's the most beautiful part. Action creates clarity. You don't have to have it all figured out before you begin. Most people try to perfect the plan before they take the first step. But real clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from trying, from failing, from adjusting. You learn faster when you move. You evolve quicker when you engage. You discover your real potential when you push past the limits of thought and enter the battlefield of action. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the world to tell you it's time. Don't wait for someone else to lead you. This is your journey, your dream, your responsibility. Take the step, even if it's small, even if you're scared, especially if you're scared.
Because every empire was once just an idea, and every idea was once just a decision, and every decision was once just a single step taken. As we move forward in this journey of mental mastery and manifestation, hold on to this truth. Action isn't just something you do after you're ready, it's what makes you ready. It builds your courage, it strengthens your discipline, it shows your mind that you mean business. And in doing so, it transforms your internal vision into external reality. You've seen it in your mind, you've believed it in your heart, you've persisted through pain, you've visualized the outcome. Now it's time. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. It's time to move. Because only through action do thoughts become things, and only through action do dreams become real. Because once your mind is made up, truly made up, no force on earth can stop the success that is already on its way to you.